Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do today the flares, and I want to walk you through the entire process and show you how fast it is if you use the right flaring gun. I have a whole bunch of them, and I've told you to buy different ones at different times, but now this is the one I'm stopping at now because it's 78 bucks, pretty darn cheap, and I mean really, and it's fantastic, super fast, super good, and perfect each time. I've looked at them for the first 30 or 40 times, and they're perfect, so I don't even have to look at them anymore. They're perfect. But anyway, I will, of course, for you. What I want to do is walk you step by step through the flaring process. So let's just say you have, you put on a flare and you forgot to put the nut on, okay? This thing here, this tool has a little slot right here. Every one of these tools, it's like this, that cuts copper, has a little slot right there. That slot is intended for this procedure, just to cut off just the flare part, and save the rest of your line, okay? So open it up where you can get your line in there and put it right there in between the grooves. Okay, it just holds right on the grooves. All right. As soon as you got that, just go around. You don't want to push very tight. Just let it do the work, so you don't have to, you have less deburring and you have less compressing of the pipe. Okay, so just go around a couple times. It falls right off. So I just cut this off, and now we're going to the next step. So we just cut the flare off. We use that handy dandy groove inside the cutter, okay? And it's now cut off. First thing we want to do is, if we made that mistake because we didn't put the nut on, we put the nut on first. That's the first thing you do no matter what. Okay, so the nut's on. And usually you'll be working on a line set where it's down at the ODU, and it'll be down like this, going towards the ODU valve, okay? And I'm just doing it up here in the air for you right now, but that's the way it normally looks. And then you take your deburring tool, and best one on the planet. I'll put a link for this down below too. Totally the best. The little pin one goes in there and scratches up the face. That inside here is your flare. Think about it. We're going to open this up and splay it open. That's going to be your flare. You don't want nothing touching it. So this thing here is made in the same exact way. So it goes in there and doesn't mess up that at all. Just takes it off. If you can see that, see all the stuff falling out of it? It's just perfect. Okay, so it literally can't be better. It's just the greatest tool on the planet. Only a couple of dollars, and they're fantastic. Anyway, so you got that done. As soon as you're done doing that, you want to go ahead and do your flare. Now on the new flare tool, I used to say a nickel, have it sticking out a nickel's worth, but now I'm into a dime. On this one here, they seem to all be different. This one here, I stick out about a dime's worth, and you want to clamp it down with your hand, all right, and your nut's down here. It does fall off here because it's not hooked on nothing, you know. So I'm going to take it off, but you would put that on there first because yours won't be like that. Okay, put it on there and clamp it on. All right, then take your tool and slip it over here. And what it is this right here, it's got a little cone on it, and it fits right here. So this one here, see this little arrow? It's set up there. You go like that, and you set it right to the arrow to the line. Okay, let's see if you can see that. The arrow goes right to the line, and you just hold it there approximately and start tightening this in. And it has these little things right here, little spots for it. So as soon as you get near it, it'll zoom right into its little thing, and you can see it's on there tight. Okay, then just go ahead and tighten it up like that. So at this point, you want to make sure this is complete. This is your tightener for this block, the flaring block. And without that, when you try to push the flare in, it would just push the pipe out. Okay, so you want to tighten that up. Okay, and then here's your flare, and you stick it right in there. It has a clutch on it, so it just goes as far as it wants, and it stops. And you back it back out again. Has a clutch going the other direction too, and then you simply pop this one here off because you just tightened up your block, and pull this thing off, and you're done. So that's the whole thing. It's got a perfect flare. I don't know, you got to look at it. They're absolutely perfect each and every time. Okay. Pulls it out, and you're good to go. And again, if you had your flare, if you had your nut on there, you would be good to go at this point. Okay, literally perfect. It's that fast. That's how flaring goes with this gun. Is fantastic. The old one I was telling you to get before, it was called Libration. Especially you're down there on your hands and knees underneath the ODU and trying to work this thing out. What a pain in the rump. This thing is so fast, it just goes boom and you're done. It has literally the perfect flare. That is just perfect. Okay, literally perfect. Okay, so between that, so you had the again, I'll put the links in the comment section. I'll put the link to this thing here and the link to this thing here also there, and so you'll be set up for all stuff flaring. Okay. Again, you use your when you go to do your flares, each time you put a little POE oil on this, or if you don't have any, use some vacuum pump oil. Okay. Just put a little bit on there because you want to have this thing here not getting worn out by every time you do a flare. Okay, it causes friction. So you want to make sure there's gliding and not any kind of friction. Okay, that's why you put that on every time you go to put your tools together, O-rings, anything like that. Always put a little POE oil or vacuum pump oil on there first, so it glides across that O-ring and not, think about a dry O-ring. It would just pull and tug and twist and try to get into place, and it's just, a total mess. You want to have you want to glide right into spot. Okay? All right. If you have any questions, put them down below.